Dear students, dear students, welcome to the video lecture on curriculum vitae once again. So, in the last class, I gave you a brief outline about what curriculum vitae is, and we stopped uh, at the slide languages. And I told you whenever you mention your languages in the curriculum vitae, mention only those languages in which you are fluent, that is, in which you have fluency. Don't mention those languages which you have some idea. So, there we stopped in the last class, and we will resume. So, in today's slide, I share with you some final tips for the resume format. So, how your resume format should look like? What is the structure of your resume? How your resume will appear in the document? So, these things you have to know. So, the first point is length, second one layout, third one relevance, fourth one be objective and positive, fifth one be honest, sixth one is printing, and seventh one is mailing address. So the last two things are related to the technical side, that is which you are supposed to do. So once you prepare your CV, you have to go for printing. So when you go for printing, the printing should have a certain format. The kind of letters you are supposed to use, the font, the border, the layout, all these things come under printing. So first one is length. So we'll go to the next slide. So what about the length of the curriculum vitae? How many pages you are supposed to use while writing your CV? That is, your CV should run for how many pages? What is the length of the CV? So these things we'll discuss here. So in your resume, see that it should not exceed 2 pages. So while you prepare your resume or curriculum vitae, so try to confine yourself to 2 pages as far as possible. But if it is not possible, sometimes it may exceed more than 2 pages. But the primary thing is your resume should never exceed 2 pages. So this keeping it in mind. 2 పేజీల కన్నా ఎక్కువ రాసే ప్రయత్నము చేయకండి. సో ఆ 2 పేజెస్లోనే సరైన విధంగా కూర్చే ప్రయత్నము చేయండి మీ రెజ్యూమేని. Ideally, 1 page is more than enough. Generally, when we present or prepare resume, so you can prepare or you can include the important details which are useful to you, which will help you in getting the job in 1 page. సో ఒక్క పేజ్లో మనం చేయగలుగుతాం, కానీ కొన్నిసార్లు మన యొక్క అచీవ్మెంట్స్ కానీ మన క్వాలిఫికేషన్స్ మన యొక్క డీటెయిల్స్ ఎక్కువగా ఉంటే ఇట్ మే రన్ టు 2 pages. And the last point is, sometimes recruiters and hiring managers often accept resumes as long as 3 pages. So, in some rare cases, depending on the reputation of the company, depending on the experience of the employee or the candidate who is going to appear for the interview, or the candidate who is submitting his CV or resume. So sometimes recruiters and hiring managers. So these are the people who give us jobs. They are called recruiters, sometimes employers, and hiring managers. So there is a special category of people working in multinational companies. They are called hiring managers. Generally, sometimes all the managers come to a particular place. So these days we have job placements. They come to a particular college which is located in the center, and they will ask students to apply for it from various colleges around that city. They will come there on a particular day. So some of the hiring managers will be sitting in a big hall, and depending on the performance of the candidate, they would like to hire them. Hire and giving jobs. So hiring managers often accept resumes as long as 3 pages. So in some situations, your resume can go up to 3 pages also. So the length of the resume may be of 3 pages. And layout. Layout means the design of your curriculum vitae, the structure of your curriculum vitae, that is called the layout. So make sure your resume remains easy to read and clearly structured. So make sure your resume remains easy to read. So however experienced you are, however senior you are, however eligible and qualified you are, unless your resume is convenient to for to read, or it is easy uh, for the employers to go through, then only you will be selected for the interview, or your application will be selected for the next step. Therefore, make sure your resume remains easy to read and clearly structured. So these two things are very important. So resume should not be confusing. Information should be clearly presented, and the structure of a resume also should be correct. So these things you have to keep in mind. And what about resumes we prepare? Our Indian resumes are often detailed and elaborated. So in our resumes, we give the information very clearly, and whatever achievements we have, whatever qualifications we have, the details we give in a very elaborate manner, in a very clear manner. So our resume speaks about ourselves. That is, before the candidate is being called for the interview, the recruiters will have an idea about the candidate, because his or her resume is presented in a detailed manner. That is about layout. The first one is length, second one is layout. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్ రెలవెన్స్. రెలవెన్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? మనం సంబంధించిన విషయాలను మన రెజ్యూమేలో పొందుపరచాలి, పనికొచ్చే పెట్టాలి. సో ఏదైతే మనకు పనికిరావో వాటిని పెట్టకపోతే మంచిది. సో వీ కెన్ అవాయిడ్. సో రెలవెన్స్, దట్ ఈస్ అవాయిడ్ irrelevant facts. That is, don't try to include those facts, those details, that information which is not relevant to the situation. That is, you are applying for a job in a computer office or in a computer agency. So try to include those things which are useful for your job. So if you have a hobby of painting, or if you have a diploma in painting, it may not be useful here, because people want your skills in the field of computers, but not in the field of painting or architecture. So though you have those skills, try to avoid mentioning those things, because those things become irrelevant facts, సంబంధం లేని విషయాలు. సో వీలైనంత వరకు సంబంధమైన విషయాలను పొందుపరచకపోతే, దాంట్లో ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయకపోతేనే మంచిది. రిమూవ్ ఎనీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ that won't help an employer decide whether you will fit the position. సో సమాచారం ఏదైతే మనకు పనికిరాదో, ఏ సమాచారం అయితే నీకు ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేసే వ్యక్తికి సహాయపడదో, ఏ సమాచారం అయితే నీ యొక్క సెలక్షన్లో దోహదపడదో, అటువంటి సమాచారాన్ని మనము పొందుపరచకపోతే మంచిది. సో రిమూవ్ ఎనీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ that won't help an employer decide whether you will fit the position, because the employer wants to know your details. The employer wants to find out the skills that are required for the job in the candidates. So if your information is not up to the level, if your CV or resume does not reflect your skills required for that job, then the employer may find it difficult to select you or to filter the applications. Therefore, try to avoid information or facts that are not relevant. Only submit those things which are relevant to the job, which will help you. And next one, whenever you prepare your curriculum vitae or CV, be objective and positive. Objective in the sense, don't become subjective, don't become personal. So whatever information is there, try to present as it is without adding something personally. That is called objective. So be objective and positive. So what does it mean? So we will go through it one by one. That is, never mention your weaknesses, past failures, reasons for leaving your previous job, expected salary, and the like. And also, don't include your father's or mother's occupations. So these things you are not supposed to include. Therefore, so the statement that is be objective and positive means, so don't try to mention your weaknesses, weaknesses and past failures, because those things are not going to help you. If you present your weakness, if you present your failure, that will be a negative thing in the interview. So they will come to know about your failures and weaknesses, and they will prepare their mind not to select you. Only they will be calling you formally, but already they will decide not to select you or keep your application aside. So whenever you prepare your resume, first point is be objective and positive. That is, whatever details which are useful for you in getting the job, so try to present them as a third person, as a neutral person, but not as a person who is going to support your details personally, adding spice to it, adding unnecessary things to it. So don't become subjective. సో వ్యక్తిగతంగా ఉండొద్దు. అది నీలో ఉన్న మంచిని ఉన్నది ఉన్నట్లుగా మూడో వ్యక్తిలాగా చూపించాలి. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్. అండ్ బీ పాజిటివ్. సో దట్స్ వై ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ, డోంట్ ప్రజెంట్ యువర్ వీక్నెసెస్, యువర్ ఫెయిల్యూర్స్. సో యువర్ రెజ్యూమే షుడ్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్ ద పాజిటివ్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ పర్సనాలిటీ. సో నీలో ఉన్న మంచినే నీ దాంట్లో ఉంచుకోవాలి, కానీ నీలో ఉన్న చెడును నీ యొక్క సీవీలో రాయాల్సిన అవసరము లేదు. నీ బలహీనతలను, గతంలో నీ యొక్క జాబ్లో నువ్వు ఫెయిల్ అయ్యావు, సరిగా పనిచేయలేకపోయావు, పాస్ట్ ఫెయిల్యూర్స్ అవసరం లేదు. రీజన్స్ ఫర్ లీవింగ్ యువర్ ప్రీవియస్ జాబ్, మరెందుకు ఈ జాబ్ అప్లై చేస్తున్నావు, వై డిడ్ యూ లీవ్ యువర్ ప్రీవియస్ జాబ్, ఆర్ వై యూ డు నాట్ వాంట్ టు వర్క్ ఇన్ దట్ కంపెనీ. సో దీస్ థింగ్స్ యూ నీడ్ నాట్ మెన్షన్, బికాస్ యూ ఆర్ అప్లయింగ్ ఫర్ ఎ జాబ్, because you want to go for a change, or you want to work in a good company, or you want to update your skills working in a new company. So that must be the reason, but you do not try to present that I do not like that previous job, I do not want to work there. All these things, they are nothing but they show your weaknesses or failures. And along with that, do not mention your expected salary and the like. So you yourself cannot decide. Let the company decide. If the company asks you how much salary do you want, or we are going to pay this much amount, what is your opinion? Do you want to negotiate, or do you want to accept it as it is? So వాళ్ళు మన ముందు ఒక ఫిగర్ పెడతారు, ఇంత జీతం ఇస్తామని. Then we can talk. Then we can negotiate whether the salary is okay or not, or whether you want some more increase in the salary. So unless they ask you, don't try to write about your salary or present your expectations in the CV. And don't include your father's or mother's occupations. So you are not going to include things that are personal, and these things are personal. So telling about your father's job and mother's job comes under personal things, subjective things. So don't bring those kind of information. Only tell about yourself and your plus points, your strengths, your achievements, not your weaknesses and your failures. Next one, This is very important. Be honest. Just now I told you, be objective. In the same way, be honest. So don't try to hide facts, don't try to present lies. Whatever is there about you, whatever positive things you have, present them, but don't try to add things too much. Don't try to show yourself as a very honest person above the required things, above your levels of honesty. So, how much honest you are, try to present. That is, aim to show yourself in the best possible light, but never lie on your resume. That is, try to present yourself as a good person in the best possible light. As far as possible, try to present yourself as an honest person, but don't lie. Don't take shelter in lying. So, in your resume, don't try to present things that are false, things that are not found in you, things that are fabricated, unnecessarily created. So, don't try to do those things. So, whatever positive things you have, be honest and present them in the CV. If you get hired, your employers will quickly find out and you will end up damaging your reputation, because even if you lie, once you join the job, once you are selected, definitely your officer will find out the weaknesses. You will find out that you have presented lies. He will find out that you have not presented the truth. Then what they will do? They will simply remove you from the job. Sometimes they will inform other companies also not to give you any chance or not to hire you. So this will not only make you lose your job, but it will also damage your future chances of employment or selection. So to avoid these kind of things, for a good impression, for a good remark, try to be honest. Next one, we will come to the printing part. So printing in the sense, once you prepare your CV or once you prepare your resume or your document, you are supposed to get it printed, because you cannot submit your resume in a written form, manually written form. You have to submit in a typed form. So for that there are certain conditions, instructions are there. So what are the conditions you are supposed to follow? First one is, Indian resume format uses white A4 size sheets of paper. So you prepare your curriculum vitae or resume using a white paper, and the size of the paper is A4 size. Don't use other papers, because this is a standard Indian resume format. సో ఈ యొక్క రెజ్యూమే తయారు చేసేటప్పుడు, సో మన దగ్గర ఉన్న పరిస్థితులను బట్టి మన సాంప్రదాయం ప్రకారము A4 సైజు పేపర్ వాడితే మంచిది. వైట్ పేపర్ ఉండాలి, లైన్డ్ పేపర్స్ ఉండకూడదు. నెక్స్ట్, print only on one side of the paper. Never fold your resume. So when you prepare the resume, the paper has two sides. So but don't use the both sides. Only use the front side of the paper. And if your resume continues for the second page, use another paper and use only one side of the other paper. So don't use the back portion of the paper while preparing the resume. So print only on one side of the paper. Never fold your resume. So this is the bad habit which most of us have. If your friend gives you a document and requests you to hold it for some time because he wants to go for a cup of tea or he wants to go outside and come back, so what will you do? You will not keep the document as it is. You will try to fold it, you will try to roll it. So these things are not recommended, these things are not advisable. So your CV should not be in a folded form. Never fold your resume, because if you fold your resume, it will create a bad impression on the recruiter. So the recruiter will not have a good impression about you or about the candidate who is applying for the job. So the document should be neat without any folds. Try to use a folder or a cover and submit the resume in a neat structured form. And for printing, use a laser printer. It's cheap and it gets a job done. So don't go for Xerox and all these kinds of things, and using a computer and using a cheap Xerox machine, because your resume because your resume is going to make your chances clear for the job. Your resume will help you in getting the job. So unless your resume is not neat, properly printed, properly typed, in a good shape, you will not have the chances of being selected. So see that your resume is very neat and well structured and well typed. Next one, you have to give your address, because these days we use emails, not the postal address. Now it has become the mailing address. So like house address, you try to give your mailing address, sometimes your house number also. Okay, if they post you a letter, they have to post it to a particular address, that is also called a mailing address. At the same time, you will also give your email address. And while writing your mailing address, do not mention permanent and current mailing addresses. Sometimes what we do, we give the two addresses. Permanent means your house is in Etunagaram, and the current mailing address is you study in Hanamkonda. So don't give both addresses, only give one address. And what is that address? The current mailing address. That is the address in which you are now living, or your present stay, your present location. That is, you are in Hanamkonda in a particular house. Give that number, but don't give your permanent number, which is at Etnagar. This creates confusion for the recruiters or the company people. This practice can only confuse a potential employer. So if you mention both the addresses, what is the result? The result is your employer will get confused. Potential employer means the employer who is in a position to give you a job will get confused. So once he is confused, he will send it to some wrong address, or he may not send it because you are not sure about your own address. So you are not clear in your mind about which address you have to give. Then he may not send you the letter of appointment or a letter of interview. Only include your current address. Therefore, to avoid confusion, it is better you include your current address. Current means the address in which you are now residing. ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న ఇంటి నంబర్ ఇస్తే మంచిది. ఊర్లో ఉన్న నీ సొంత ఇంటి నంబర్ ఇచ్చే బదులు ప్రస్తుతం నువ్వు ఎక్కడున్నావో ఎంతవరకు ఉంటావో కూడా గమనించుకోవాలి. బట్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు స్టే ఇన్ దట్ ప్లేస్ ఫర్ మోర్ టైమ్, it is better you give a permanent address. But if you are in a area where you will be there for a longer period of time, so that becomes your current address. So try to give that address only. And after that, make sure your email address doesn't sound childish. So we give our email address. So whenever we prepare, we have our own email addresses. So see that your email is in a professional manner. ఈమెయిల్స్ తయారు చేసినప్పుడు ఎట్లా ఉండాలి? చూడడానికి అవి ప్రొఫెషనల్గా ఉండాలి, అంతేగాని చిన్నపిల్లలాగా ఉండదు. మనం ఏదో పెట్టి చేస్తూ ఉంటాం, రకరకాల పేర్లు. అసలుది పెట్టకుండా చిరు అని పెడతాం, మన పేరు ఒకటి పెట్టేది ఒకటి పెడతాం, అటువంటివి కాదు. సో యువర్ ఈమెయిల్ షుడ్ బి ఎ ప్రొఫెషనల్ వన్. Get email address in the name dot surname and at hosting. That is, write your name. Your name is Ramesh. Your surname is Polipaka. Ramesh dot Polipaka or Ram dot Paul. Ramesh dot Polipaka at gmail.com or at hotmail.com, rediffmail.com, like that. So your email should be like a professional one. So your email should have a professional appearance, and don't prepare emails like a child. అంటే చూడడానికి చిన్నపిల్లలాగా ఉండొద్దు. అది దాంట్లో కొద్దిగా అనుభవం కనిపించాలి, పరిణితి కనిపించాలి. సో try to make an email address which appears professional. So the employer will have a good impression looking at your email address also. And next one is how your CV should look like. Now we will come to the complete picture of the CV. Till now what we have discussed. So in this slide we will have a review of it, or we will recap whatever we have learned so far. So how the CV should be, what is the format of the CV? First one is a picture of yourself. So if you want to put a picture, put it, but a passport size picture, and it should be professional, okay, with a neat appearance. And using a picture is not compulsory, it is not mandatory, as I told you in the first slide. But see that your picture is professional, your photo looks professional. Next one, try to give your personal information. I told you, okay, your name, from which place you belong to, your date of birth, all these things you can add, your email address, your mobile number, all these come under personal information. Next one, go to the professional summary. I told you in the professional summary what you are going to include, your achievements or your accomplishments. So your job accomplishments you try to. So what did you achieve in your previous jobs? So all these things you try to include. Next one, work experience and education. So how much of experience you have? You might be having 10 years of experience or 4 years of experience in different places or only in one place. So that you include, and your education also, whether you are a graduate or whether you are a postgraduate or you have studied more than that, try to include all those things. And in the other sections you can include your skills, references, and volunteering. Skills, you will have skills. So though you are professional in one area, sometimes you have skills in other areas also, and those kind of skills that are useful for your job you try to include. Because if you are applying for a computer professional job, a computer operator, or a technician in hardware section, so you can also use certain skills, like you know how to do electrical work, you know how to repair electronic things. Things that are useful, skills that are useful, you can include. And regarding references, as I have told you earlier, don't use include references in your resume, because once they go through the resume, if the company is interested, then they will ask you other details in the next step. Then you can give the references whenever they ask you. And regarding volunteering, you can include, because volunteering adds weightage to your CV. Because if you have the nature of volunteering, it will be useful to the company also. So then they will think that the candidate has a proactive nature, he knows motivation, he has a social awareness. So all these things they will come to understand by looking at this item. And languages, I told you, so languages in which you are fluent, in which you are perfect, only include those languages. That is, languages you speak, languages you write, languages you read and understand. So those things you have to mention. And next one is a mailing address. Just now I told you, try to give the address in which you are presently living, not your permanent address which is somewhere, because the employer will be confused. You may not receive the call letter, or you may not receive the letter of appointment to the right address. Then you will be losing your chance. So to have better chances of being selected, try to give information which is very clear, simple, straightforward, not confusing. So all these things will have an impact on your selection, because the more clear your curriculum vitae is, the employer will have a better idea about your levels of understanding and clarity. So these things you keep in mind, and whenever you prepare a curriculum vitae, so this is important for all undergraduate students, be first semester students or second or third. Now we have one more year. For all the students this is important, even for the PG students also, because we are in search of jobs. We will be applying for number of jobs in our lifetime. So unless you are settled, you will be applying for different kinds of jobs, and for that you need to prepare a curriculum vitae. You cannot prepare the old curriculum vitae again and again. So depending on the time, depending on the situation, depending on the nature of the company, you have to make certain adjustments in your curriculum vitae, and you have to update the details. But one thing is, whenever you present your curriculum vitae, be objective, be positive, be honest. So don't try to present things which are not correct, which are not true. don't include items that are false. So this will have an impact on your future career, because once your officer comes to know about your weaknesses, that you have submitted false information, you will be removed out, or you will be thrown out, you will be sent out, fired out of the job of the company, and further you may not be having good chances of recruitment. So to avoid all these things, try to be positive, honest, and objective. So with these things, I think I can stop here, and tomorrow we will have another topic. So please go through the videos regularly, and if at all you have any doubt, you have my phone number with you, or even you have the WhatsApp group, you can post your doubts in the WhatsApp group, so they can so that I can present them in the form of a video recording in the next classes. So for today, goodbye.